Welcome back to our channel. Today, we bring you a crucial update on the escalating tensions in the South China Sea. In a bold move that has shaken the region, China fired water cannons at a U.S. ally's boat. This incident has sent shockwaves through the international community, and retaliation seems inevitable. China faced growing backlash Monday after it blocked and fired water cannons at a key U.S. allies' vessels in the disputed South China Sea, the latest incident to raise tensions over the crucial waterway. The Philippine government summoned Beijing's ambassador and lodged a diplomatic protest over the weekend confrontation, while Washington reiterated a warning that it is obligated to defend its ally if it comes under attack. China countered that its actions were necessary, accusing the Philippines of violating its sovereignty. Philippine Coast Guard vessels were escorting boats delivering food, water, and other supplies to troops stationed on the Second Thomas Shoal, a tiny atoll in the contested Spratly Islands, when Chinese Coast Guard ships sought to block them and fired water cannons Saturday. The Philippine vessels were subjected to repeated water cannoning and continuous dangerous maneuvers, the country's National Security Council spokesperson, Jonathan Malaya, said Monday at a news conference. China's actions had placed the lives of the crew of Philippine vessels at risk, in violation of international and humanitarian law, he added, describing it as like a David and Goliath situation. The boats were undertaking a regular rotation and resupply mission, Malaya said, adding that only one boat eventually reached the shoal. China said the move was necessary, accusing the Philippines of violating its sovereignty and reiterating its claims over the shoal as part of its own Nansha Islands. In order to avoid direct blocking and collisions when repeated warnings were ineffective, water cannons were used to warn. A spokesperson for the Chinese Coast Guard said Monday. The disputed shoal is in the South China Sea, one of the world's busiest sea lanes, which has long been regarded as a source of tension between China and its neighbors, as well as a delicate fault line in its rivalry with the U.S. China claims ownership over virtually the entire strategic waterway, despite international rulings that invalidated Beijing's vast territorial claims. Its stance has antagonized many countries in the region, with which it has territorial disputes. China's expansive claims based on historical rights have often clashed with the territorial claims of other nations, leading to years of diplomatic tensions and occasional confrontations. The situation escalated when China, in a highly provocative move, fired water cannons at a boat belonging to a U.S. ally, the Philippines. The incident occurred in disputed waters, adding fuel to an already volatile situation. This act of aggression has raised concerns about China's intentions and the safety of navigation in the region. International maritime laws and norms are being tested, and the world watches with bated breath. In response to the water cannon attack, both the United States and the Philippines are preparing a resolute counterattack. The U.S. has denounced China's actions, citing them as a breach of peace and stability in the region. The Philippines, backed by its ally, the U.S., is determined to protect its sovereignty and stand up against any aggression. This joint response sends a strong message to China that such actions will not be tolerated. The U.S. and allies, including the European Union, Japan, and Australia, expressed their support for the Philippines, voicing concerns over the Chinese actions. By impeding necessary provisions from reaching the Filipino service members stationed at Second Thomas Shoal, the PRC has also undertaken unwarranted interference in lawful Philippine maritime operations, the U.S. State Department said in a statement Saturday referring to the People's Republic of China. Washington also renewed a warning that it is committed to defend its longtime treaty ally if Philippine vessels were to come under an armed attack. Beijing accused Washington of supporting a violation of its sovereignty, with a Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson saying Monday at a news briefing that China urged the U.S. to respect its maritime rights. The U.S. and many of China's neighbors accuse Beijing of using gray zone tactics that are not legally acts of war to intimidate other countries and assert greater control over the area. In response, the U.S. regularly conducts freedom of navigation and other operations in international waters and airspace that China says serve only to fuel tensions and threaten its security. Beijing has long demanded that the Philippines withdraw its troops from the shoal at the center of the weekend standoff, which it calls Renai Jiao. The Philippine forces are stationed atop a rusting ship that has been grounded there since 1999 and now serves as a vestige of Manila's claim to the area. Beijing sees the resupply efforts as cover for a bid to strengthen the Philippine presence. Humanitarian supplies provided once in 2 weeks have been unimpeded, said Hu Bo, the director of the South China Sea Strategic Situation Probing Initiative in Beijing. But the action of reinforcing its warship is, in China's view, to change the current situation of the South China Sea, which will definitely drive China to take all the possible measures to maintain the status quo, he said. To understand the gravity of the recent events, we must first delve into the long-standing dispute over the South China Sea. This region, rich in resources and strategic importance, has been a hotbed of contention between China and neighboring countries, including the Philippines. The situation escalated when China, in a highly provocative move, fired water cannons at a boat belonging to a U.S. ally, the Philippines. The incident occurred in disputed waters, adding fuel to an already volatile situation. This act of aggression has raised concerns about China's intentions and the safety of navigation in the region. International maritime laws and norms are being tested, and the world watches with bated breath. In response to the water cannon attack, both the United States and the Philippines are preparing a resolute counterattack. The U.S. has denounced China's actions, citing them as a breach of peace and stability in the region. The Philippines, backed by its ally, the U.S., is determined to protect its sovereignty and stand up against any aggression. This joint response sends a strong message to China that such actions will not be tolerated. The aftermath of this incident carries far-reaching geopolitical consequences. The fragile balance of power in the region could be further strained, leading to increased military presence, alliances, and diplomatic maneuvers. Neighboring countries are closely watching the developments, while the international community debates the appropriate response. The South China Sea has become a focal point of global politics, with the potential to reshape the dynamics of the entire region. As tensions continue to rise in the South China Sea, the world braces for the repercussions of this audacious water cannon attack. The future remains uncertain as diplomatic negotiations, military posturing, and international pressure unfold. Stay tuned for further updates on this critical situation. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content. Until next time, signing off. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. For more in-depth analysis on global affairs, subscribe to our channel. Also, check out these recommended videos for further insights.